Now we got some sound. I missed y'all. Uh, missed y'all a lot, and I really, really wanted to try to do some type auction. I might be able to here in a few days. Uh, Lots went on. Uh, I mainly just missed y'all. Well, we're feeling all right. Uh, we've got some kind of small infection going on that we're taking some antibiotics for. Uh, it's my mind. My mind. I'm not hurting where the cancer is. My oxygen levels is at 100. Uh, I got to go tomorrow in the morning early for biopsy reports where they went Friday down my throat and cut on the tumor and the lymph nodes, and I'll get either good news or bad news or some type of news tomorrow. The surgery went well. He came in and told me that the PET scan that they had done before that, uh, that it didn't show that it spread nowhere else in my body, not in my other lung. And I was laying there, they was fixing to put me out, and he said, "I told you I'd tell you the results as quick as I could on that." And I said, "You mean it's not in my brain, not my kidneys, not my pancreas, not nowhere else?" He said, "No, the cancer hadn't spread anywhere else." And I was just so blame happy. I looked over at the male nurse and I said, "If I was gay, I'd kiss you right in the mouth." And I said, "I might anyway." But I'll tell y'all a story. They'd got me ready to roll down, and the male nurse was really nice, and India was beside of me, and they was fixing to put me under. And I looked up at the male nurse and I said, something like, "I don't know if you believe in prayer or not, but sometime later on, you say a prayer for me." He said, "Well, let's just do it right now." So he stopped in the middle of the aisle, grabbed my hand. India grabbed my other hand, and he started saying one of the prettiest prayers. And then all of a sudden, I started feeling other hands on my shoulder where people was coming up the aisles, and they joined in on the prayer. And that meant so much to me. And I'm sorry I'm so emotional. I'm just glad to see y'all. Okay? I'm glad to see y'all. I'm not sad. I'm glad to see y'all. So we're went through that all right. My throat's pretty sore where they went down in there, and if I hadn't have failed on the sidewalk and busted my ribs up, they said I probably wouldn't be alive in a few months, because y'all know me, I don't like going to the doctor. And they found the cancer because I'd fell and went and got these ribs checked out. And I've got some good news, and it's stage three. Okay. And stage three is not curable, it is treatable. And it's just like it's the size of a golf ball, but it's not attached uh, like to any. It's not attached to. Good evening, everybody. It's not attached to like main arteries or nerve endings. That's why they said my oxygen level, since I quit smoking 2 years ago, oxygen levels 100%, 100%. Uh, Not hurt, never hurt none here. And what we'll find out tomorrow is if it's the aggressive type cancer, which he said he's seen enough of them to think it's the non small cell cancer and not the small cell cancer, which is really aggressive. And if it's been growing as long as they think it has, whether it's a few months or a few years, if it was the aggressive cancer, it would probably done be. I probably wouldn't even be here. But I want to tell all you, my friends, I don't know what the future holds in the next several months. I know it's going to be shrink this cancer down and then maybe trying to take it out and then radiation and chemo. So I know it's going to be a living heck on not just me. I told India this evening, I said, honey, you don't realize what you're going to be up against. It is so hard on a caregiver, a caretaker, to take care of somebody that's battling cancer. I've done it before, and it's just it's crazy. So what I'm trying to do now is get my mind right because I'm not hurting. I do have a little cough, and that's not from the cancer. It's from them running all that tubes down my throat, and and then I guess I went to a different regular physician. I changed regular physician so they could help me guide me through the process. Great people, and they had to do blood work because India is going to take care of that. She's been busy taking care of me, and she's going to get that stuff took care of. Uh, but they did a regular blood test. Said we got to do that. I said, well, they done took all kind of blood from me, and they're called me today and said your blood lab got back from this morning and said it looks like your white cells is elevated a little bit from where it was the other day. And he said, but that's just from that infection that you got. It's nothing to do with your cancer. And then he said, do you take a lot of ibuprofen and Tylenol? I'm like, no, I don't even like taking medicine. And he said, well, your liver, whatever's elevated. And I said, you got to remember, they pumped me with morphine, Ativan, hydrocodones, Valiums for the last 4 or 5 days. He said, oh, never mind then. Never mind. That's the cause of that. So it was a little scary today when I got that phone. Every phone call you get from a doctor, and it's going to be scary tomorrow because he's done said it's not operable unless they can shrink it down. And what I don't understand is this: I have this one cancer here, and it may be in a couple of the lobes here. I understand the radiation because they can pinpoint the radiation and just hurt a little bit of the surrounding area. I don't understand the chemo part because they run the chemo through your whole body, and I can't understand running chemo through all my organs that are perfectly fine. So I don't know that I'll choose to do chemo. I'm going to talk to my family, and I'm going to talk to I just don't want to run poison through my whole system when I've only got it here. You know, I did that to poor old India today, Susan. Uh, we was at the store. I went up there checking on everything, and you know how I am. I want to take care of my vendors and make sure everything's going good. And I said I got to have some ice water, so I walked across the square and didn't tell them. And she came flying in over at the restaurant. You're not supposed to be going off without telling me. And I said, well, I'm not an invalid. I can still walk and maneuver around, and I ain't gonna get lost or nothing. Hey, my old buddies up there in Wisconsin. But she did. And I had a lot of things that went on in the emergency room. And here's what really got me more than anything. We love y'all too. Is during the emergency room, I told the dadgum lady that was doing the x-rays on my chest, I said, the reason I don't like going to hospitals, y'all always find something else. I said, you better not find nothing else. And lo and behold, if they didn't find cancer. Thank you, Caroline. I know because I forget things so easy, but the nurse came in and I knew something was up because they ordered a CT scan with contrast. And I thought, well, they're doing that for my ribs sore. And the nurse came in and said, what's your wife's name? And I said, India. And then I really got to thinking something's going on. This is during the emergency room. Uh, then she came back in and I said, what's going on, guys? Why you won't know my wife's name? Oh, no, we just won't know your last name. I'm like, you know my last name. It's on the chart. And as soon as, thank you guys, I will. As soon as India, and I wish they had waited and done it a different way, but little Ruby was there in Ireland, in India. They had just made it there because I drove myself. I was just thinking it was a hurt rib. And the doctor comes in and I said, you know, is the rib busted real bad? And I tried to joke with him, but he hadn't wasn't joking like he was before. And he said, well, he said, we found a cancer size of your fist on your left lung. And I looked up at Ireland and I looked up at Ruby. I wasn't thinking about me because I'm truthful with y'all. I'm not afraid to die. But I looked up at Ireland and I looked up at Ruby and I looked over at India. And that's all I could think about was them hearing this, not coming from me, just blurt it right out. And I don't blame the doctor. He was really nice to me. But that's what I could think about was them. And I've done told all of my kids. I tell you what I did. And I had some fun the 3 days I was in the hospital. You know I'm gonna have fun. I was aggravated Indy about one of the nurses being my girlfriend, and we was in there one day. The room was full, and uh, I said, "This is my girlfriend." I said, "Oh, she can't be my girlfriend. She ain't about 20 some years old." And she said, "Well, I'm 41 years old." And I said, "Well, still, you same age as my daughter." And I said, "Wait a minute, you the same age as my wife too." So we had a lot of fun. The nurses and the CNAs were super, super great people. I did fire one doctor because I'm not going to put up with a rude doctor. Uh, and he said some things that were just super rude and no bedside manner. And I just called the main, uh, the person that's over it down there, and I said, I don't want him seeing my records. I don't want to even mention my name. And then every time one of the doctors or nurses would come in, they'd sort of giggle at me and, you're the one that fired that doctor. And I said, yeah. I said, I'm not going to put up, I ain't going to play no reindeer games. And then the mayor came to see me. You know, me and him had a rough race, but we're friends. And I was cutting up with him, and he's like, you're depressing, boy, because I was talking about, I ain't afraid of death. It's something we all got to do and things. And then when all my kids, this is the worst part. Y'all gonna think I'm awful because I don't want the kids being all sad. And they were all in there, and I was laying there, and I think I just probably got a good shot of morphine. And I said, kids, I said, let's do a little practice run. And they said, Daddy, what are you talking about? I said, well, I'm planning on living a long time, but if the time comes when y'all all gathered around my bed, I said, y'all just gather around my bed and I'll lay here and I'll just act like I'm just about ready to go on over to the other side, and I can sort of hear what y'all saying, and we get a practice run in. And they said, Daddy, I'm telling you what, you're crazy. But I try to make levity of it, because if you can laugh and you can be cheerful around your family when they're seeing you in this condition, they're not seeing you laying there all. I'm not go. I'll tell you what. I may go out. This may take me out, but I'm not going to go out all just sad. I watch my sister go out like that. I watch my brother go out like that, and I'm liable to go out doing the twist. I'm telling you, they give me a little extra something, another umph. I'm liable to go out doing the twist. I'm not going to go out. I'm going to go out. I have my hands lifted in the air, saying I'm fixing to go see Jesus, and I've got a good relationship with God, and that's the main thing that matters. And the only thing that worries me most of all, it's not leaving my kids. They're fine. I've raised them good. Me and Indy, we've done a good job with these kids. The thing that hurts me worse is knowing that they're going to miss me. That's what hurts me more than anything, knowing they're going to miss me. I'll try to see some of your comments now, guys. Thank you, guys. But I don't got any other information except that tomorrow. I don't know the when they why they he took off 4 of the pieces of the tumor, and if you already knew it was cancer. Thank you, Bobby. If you already knew it was cancer, did it spread? You going to survive? I'm going to survive. I don't know how long I'm going to survive, but I'm going to survive. But if you already knew it was cancer, I guess he's trying to find out how fast it's grow, the type, and things like that. And I don't understand the lymph node part, because I've done a little studying where they can take the that whole lung part out where the cancer's at, since it's contained to the one lung, and I'm so tickled with that. It is close to my heart, which my heart ain't in my lung anyway, but it is getting up close to it, and it's getting close to the, what do you call it, pulmonary vessels where you breathe and stuff. So it's not spread. It's not in my brain. Although some people might argue that it's in his brain. It's been in his brain a long time. Uh, but that's the blessing. I mean, I could go a week and they could say, it's spread. The stage 3 diagnosis scares me because of it not being and there's really no cure, I don't think, for any of it. It's just the survival rate that you go through life. And I told somebody talking to him today, uh, people worry about cancer all the time. And oh, this one's got cancer, and poor old Jerry, he's got cancer, and it's treatable, but it's not curable. And I told him, I said, look at here, it's not just cancer. There's somebody out there right now, they're developing sugar diabetes, which is treatable but not curable. There's somebody out there right now developing heart disease that is treatable, but it's not curable. There's somebody that's developing Alzheimer's that's sort of treatable, but not curable. There's all types of diseases out there right now that somebody is developing that is treatable, but not curable. So we need to change this around, because everybody concentrates on cancer, but heart conditions and things like that are all developing in some of us, all of us, I don't know, but they're all just treatable. They're not curable. So that sort of eases my mind a little bit when they say your cancer is uh, treatable but not curable. But by George, I'm a competitor, and I'm a fighter, and I ain't gonna play no reindeer games with this. And most time it's not the cancer that kills somebody; it's the stupid chemo and radiation and them catching pneumonia or something like that. So I'm going to be very careful. And like everybody was telling me to take notes. And India's good at taking notes and remembering things. And the good thing, the doctor, I thought he had said that this thing had grown in a month or two. But then he told India the other day, he said, "No, you misunderstood me. It's probably been growing for a year or two." Yeah, we are. We are. We try to, when we're around, the worst time I have, like right now, I'm having a pretty decent time with you guys, just getting to talk to you guys. I know I'm not auctioning nothing, but who cares? I'm getting to talk to y'all. But the worst time I have is at nighttime. I lay there and I look up at my ceiling fan, and that's what I'm looking at. And my mind's not right at that time, because all you can think about is, what's the doctor going to tell you Wednesday? Uh, uh, is this thing going to just suddenly spread? Uh, how's your kids going to react? And you're constantly thinking about the cancer. Now, when me and Indy got out today, we got out. She bought me a sandwich, a good old ham sandwich with pepper jack cheese, and we got to ride around a little bit and talk and get to go up to the store. And I got to walk around the square, even though she didn't want me to. And guess what, guys? I did have an auction Saturday night. Yeah, and today when I went to change my main position, Susan, my auction level was at 100%. Vanis, I know. And you know what? Just a few minutes looking, guys, I was looking at storage units. Well, Russ, I told the Heart of Scottsville director earlier, I said, I ain't going to die. I might nasty away, but I ain't going to die. Yeah, Vanis, and I want to tell y'all something. Y'all all know Terry by now, the wheel spinner. I want to tell you something, guys. Her and her husband came down last week. I think they was there the day I fell. And I thank God that I fell that day, or it'd been bad. But they had told me they left before any of this. I found out about the cancer, and Terry said no units. You got to see my basement. But she said, "Now, Jerry, I'm not going to get to come back down for probably a month." I think she said a month, maybe 2 months. And as soon as India found out about the cancer, she called Miss Terry up on the phone. And even though she said she wouldn't be back down in a few months, she said, "I'm on my way back down there." And that's a friend. And she's been up there hipping with the flea market that we're trying to keep going, uh, and just being a moral support. And she went out there. The Catholic Church. I was on here the other night, and the Catholic Church had asked me to do a benefit before all this happened. And I love doing the benefits for the Catholic Church. They're so nice. They make you feel like somebody. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking I can't let them down. They've been, but I feel groggy. It was the next day after I had my surgery, and the anesthesiologist stuff was still. I was groggy, and I got out there, and we had a good auction. We raised $2,300 for the church, and also half of it went to Camp Courageous. I like that for the kids out here. We got a place where kids with cancer and leukemia can come, and they can ride horses, and it's a great camp, and they gave half that money to them. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is just all planned out by God. And we were just we felt so much better going out there, and I probably overdid it, but I wasn't going to let them down, guys. So I have actually got to do a benefit auction. So that made me feel good, and I got to cut up with people. The judge was out there and judge executive, and I did my usual show inside. Now get this, inside you're all to pieces. Inside your mind, you're all to pieces. It's going every which way. But you got to perform for those people because you're wanting to help them. So I put on my Uncle Jed persona. I don't think Uncle Jed's got cancer. I think it's just me. But I put on that persona, and we had a good time out there. And they raised quite a bit of money. Plus, they had a spaghetti supper that raised some money too. And it was just it made me feel better. That's why I wanted to get on here and do an auction as soon as I can, as soon as we're able to. And they've buried everything. Ask Terry Spitz. That's why she said no to the units. They've buried everything in the basement, so I'm having trouble. India got to get to some jewelry. She found a little silver and some gold and just some regular jewelry. We was going to do just a simple auction, but I just soon to sit here and talk to y'all and uh, get to see everybody comments. And I've looked it down at your comments. I may have not said anything on there, but and we're just praying, that yeah, Darlene, you got that right. And she's got to catch up on the ship, and she's been running me to the doctor and here and there and taking care of me. And all right, Susan. Now, Lynn, that means you're a Catholic too, right, Susan? You would have had fun out there at our Catholic church last night. I'm not Catholic. I don't. I'm just a Christian, I guess. And but I told them Catholic people out there the other night. I said I've done a lot of benefits, a lot of benefits for Pentecostal people, for Baptists, for Methodists, Presbyterians. I've done several benefits out of all the people, not putting none of the others down. When I leave that Catholic church, they make you feel like somebody. And even though everything that I was going through the other night, I left out there feeling like somebody. And that gives you hope. And that gives you strength to fight. And they do it to everybody that comes to their spaghetti suppers. They make people feel at home. And I love them so much. And uh, I just, I don't know if I could just get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go to these mass service. Hey, have you heard of the, thank you, Vanis. Have you heard of the what's it called, that church in Kentucky that's had this big awakening, this big revival? I want to go to it. I want to go. It's like 2 hours away. It's a what's it called, a Zora? Somebody name it. It's been all over, even the national news. It was thank you, Kim. It's a little we'll be dealing with the same thing with my daughter, and my church always gives me hope. Susan, I want to tell you something. I don't know how old your daughter is. One of mine's 40. One is my Asbury. Thank you, Bobby. But I told a little girl up there today on the square. She hugged my neck, and I guess I may die of some kind of infection because I ain't gonna quit hugging people's necks. But I looked at her, and her mom said she'd pray for me, and she did pray for me right there on the square. But I told that little girl, I said, a lot of us adults, our faith sort of wanes a little bit as we get older. I said, but a child's faith, a child's prayer, goes a lot farther than some of our adults' prayer. So I told her, I said, honey, I want you to say a prayer for me because you're young now. Your faith is still strong. As we grow older, sometimes our faith wanes. I said, but right now, honey, you got God's ear. Bend it a little bit for Uncle Jed. And she said, I won't forget. And I know that little girl went home and prayed for me. 41, that's how old, well, that's how old Indy is, Susan. And my daughter's 40. And I'll tell you what, honey, God's my buddy. He's my friend. And I may be, and this is, I'll say this before I finish that with Susan. Our spirit comes from God and it goes back to God. And I sat in there the other night and I thought, God gave me this spirit when I was in my mother's womb. And I thought, how many times have I tarnished that beautiful spirit of God that lives inside of me? And I apologized to God. I said, I'm sorry. I know I've tarnished your beautiful spirit. I know I have. I know I've tarnished it. I said, but God, whatever time I got left here, I'm going to shine it up. I'm going to get the polish out and I'm going to shine that spirit up so much. And I had never thought that thought before of how that we tarnish that spirit of God a lot of times. And I know I have. But Susan, we'll definitely be praying for your daughter. Because a lot of times at night I can't go to sleep. And it's it's either a battle with the devil. And I'm going to tell y'all something else. And y'all going to think I'm crazy. But we'll definitely be praying for your daughter, honey. And that's what, and I'll tell you this before I tell you this other thing. Uh, I told my kids, I said, the blessing if I do leave early, the blessing if I leave early, thank you, Bobby. The blessings if I do leave early is I do have a child 40 years old and I have a child 13. But the blessings, and people don't realize this, I'm never going to have to see my kids like Susan is right now with her daughter. I'm never going to have to see my kids having heart attacks and car wrecks and things like that. So that's sort of a blessing that you're not going to have to witness that and have to go through that. So people's got to look at some of these things a little bit different. I've watched a lot of people die of cancer, and I refuse to die like that. I refuse to go out like that. Uh, oh, get this, guys. Thank you, Danielle, and thank you, Bobby. I don't know how many had the big heavy thunder the other night. I mean, it was the loudest thunder I've ever heard in my life. And this is what I believe in my heart. I believe that the enemy was trying to take my body. This is before, let me make sure. I think this is when I fell before I found out about the cancer. I'm trying to remember. But the thunder was so loud, and I knew it was the dark angels trying to take my body. I knew that. They tried before. But I think there were some angels sitting around God's throne that looked up at God and said, don't you think he's had enough? God said, go help him out, boys. And then that was that big clash of thunder. It was the loudest I'd ever heard. And those boys from heaven kicked some butt. So it brought me a little bit more time. So you might think I'm crazy for thinking that, but I've had it happen in my life before. And I knew that's what it was. And I won't ever forget that. That's a story that'll live on with me until the day I do go back to be with God. Uh, and I guess I'll give you guys an update tomorrow. We're And now, guys, I promise you, this is not coughing from cancer. It's not coughing from cancer. It's that where they ran all them tubes down my throat. Okay, that's what it is. Thank you, Amanda. Uh, and he told me I'd be coughing up a lot of stuff after they did all that. So, and plus I've got some sinuses going on. I'm taking antibiotics, and I'm drinking my Powerade Zero Powerade. And get this, guys. Now I'm full of stories tonight. Not today. You know, me and Indy's got a shirt. I need to find that. It says, "Not today, Satan." Love you too, Gettysburg. But on top of all that, me and Indy was kidding the other day at the hospital. I said, I've got a bad history of kidney stones. I said, boy, wouldn't that be something just to have a kidney stone on top of all this? And so I go get my blood work, uh, or go to the doctor to switch doctors to my main primary doctor because I knew they could get things done. And I told him, I said, when I pee, it burns. It burns so bad. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be sounding vulgar, but it just hurts. I said, it hurts so bad. And it makes you feel like you got to keep on peeing. And it just, I mean, it hurts. Y'all ever seen the movie The Green Mile, to where Tom Hanks is out at the bathroom and he's screaming? That's how it was feeling on me. And so I told him about it. I said, I think I got a urinary tract infection or something. I don't know. And so he comes back in there and he says, well, he said, we ran your urine test and you ain't got no urinary tract infection. You got some blood in your urine and it's a kidney stone. So on top of everything else, guys, I had a kidney stone that I reckon cut up and down uh, all the way from that urethra tube down through everything, and it left a real raw spot cutting. And of course, a raw spot, and you run salty urine over it, it's going to burn and everything. And that's getting better. But I thought, man, of everything else, I get a kidney stone on top of all this, and so you got to look at it and say it is what it is. And I hope I can encourage Susan with what they're facing with her daughter. And I want to learn from this. I want to garner knowledge to where everybody don't have to be crying all the time. And I'm crying tonight because of a lot of joy, guys, not sadness. But I want to learn from this and I want to gain knowledge to where I can help other people that gets the diagnosis of cancer and tell them, this don't have to be a where I've got to run home, cover my head up and give up. And even if it's the worst news, I can have fun. No matter what time I got left, I can have fun and I can be joyful. And you're not always going to be like that, but I'm trying to get to that point to where I can learn how to do that, where I can teach others. May not be able to teach them very long, but I can teach them for a while anyway. And they can take a picture of me going on out of this world and with my arms up in the air or my fists like this right here, smiling. So it's been good talking to y'all tonight. I missed y'all. I told Indy, I said, honey, I said, I know you're not feeling good. Her poor old ankles are killing her. And I said, honey, just we'll do it another night. And I said, but I'm gonna go on there. I want to talk to the people because I've not talked to them, my buddies and my friends, and all you guys. Don't be afraid to cut up with me. Don't and no, uh, I'm trusting God, Amanda, and you know me. I'm stubborn. Uh, I figure out how to do things. I'm uh, I'm working on it constantly on trying to get the auctions back going, the flea market rolling, and I've never been one to ask nobody for nothing, and I ain't gonna start now. I like doing things on my own, and uh, And that's what I'm gonna do with this cancer. I'm gonna fight it now with my family and with you guys' helps too. Yeah, yeah. But he may want to bring me on home, run for it. He may want to bring me on home and me and him just laugh around up there. Oh, Gettysburg. All right, Gettysburg gonna go first. Oh, and and if Indy gets to the point to where she's got to have some help for something or another, I won't mind. I know you won't mind at all. Anything like that. They're you know what they told me today? They said your cholesterol on the numbers. They told me my liver enzyme was up because I took all that morphine and everything. They said your cholesterol's 219. He said so. You're gonna have to start eating some baked fish and all that. I said you got to be kidding me. You know I got cancer and I don't know how long I'm gonna make it. And you telling me I can't eat fried chicken? I said, you gotta be kidding me, guy. I ain't worried about my heart right now. 219, I don't guess is bad for cholesterol anyway. But we're you know what, Gettysburg, that was the whole plan. I told Indy, I said, yep, Gettysburg got that 30 Uncle Jed bucks, and we got to somehow or another stop him from spending that. I don't like cats, except the one that oh, I got to keep eating that fry. I watched me and the girls. Uh, I'm sitting on my recliner and there's the TV there. But me and Ireland and the girls, we've been sitting in there watching some movies that we've not got to do in a long time. That's right, Susan. Uh, but we watched The Help last night. Now, I don't know how many of you guys have seen The Help about the maids, how they was mistreated, and they were mistreated according to this story. And Ireland never seen it, and the pie part really got to her. And we sat here and laughed about that. Yeah, I seen, Sammy, I seen some socks up there, and I thought about Gettysburg, and I don't know if that 30 bucks or I think that add up to them socks there. Uh, yeah, and then Run my cousin when I was little, we'd go to their house, Charles, and they had a cat. They would have to hide in the bathroom, and you couldn't use the bathroom down there. The things would leg would be coming out from under there trying to get to you. I was scared to death the whole time in there. That big old cat was gonna come out and attack me. This guy, well, you ought not have such big feet. But I will tell y'all, the vendors are doing great. They're super great. All of them's working with me, trying to help as much as they can. Because this happened a week after, well, happened the same time we got open. Uh, so they've been a big help. Well, y'all remember the story where I saved the cat that had his head run over, and I thought it was going to die, and I'm like telling it's on the way to get his euthanized. If you had lived, you would have had just the best family and everything, and the cat lives. And I'm telling these people at the dollar store is trying to get me to help it. I don't even like cats, but I like boogers, what they call it. And Booger and Remix, the dog we got to sort of comfort me that don't even like me. Uh, him and Booger, they love each other. They play, they fight. Gettysburg, it is. It's like anything. You've got to really work at it, and I've not been able to the last week. The first week I did, and one vendor done, wow, 8 or 900. Another did 8 or 900, and That's unheard of in a small town in 10 by 10 areas. And some of them struggled a little bit, and it's going to take a little bit more for Scottsville and surrounding counties to get used to it. And I'm not saying it was just because I was up there, but when I was up there, I would greet people at the door and I'd walk them around and say, "Hey, see the candy guy over here? This guy's got all the tools and things like that." Yeah, that guy, his wife got a job in away from here, so he's not going to be able to drive back down no more. But he did sell the rest of his beef jerky to one of the other vendors. So tell Jerry he better get his butt up there and get some more while they still got it. Well, India, bless her heart, she's been up there, and of course Terry's been helping us tremendously get things ready and done. And once we get it it's sort of in order, it almost run itself. India's just got to go up there and make sure the vendors are happy, they've got no complaints, and collect the money. And we got to concentrate on keeping it full of vendors. Oh, I seen the bags he left with last time, Sammy. She's a watching. She's up there right now. One of the vendors are up there doing that. But how have y'all's life been? I've talked enough about me and old poor pitiful Jerry. Let's quit having a pity party with Jerry right now, and let's see. I hope you guys. What is today? Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. You guys have a good weekend. I hope you did. I hope you had a good time with your family. Uh, you never know when things can change in an instant. I think Miss Diva, I don't know if she's still on here or not. She was just in the hospital. I think she might have been in the hospital the same time I was. I think that's what Diva. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think Miss Diva was in the hospital the same time I was. And we have a guy that sells eggs up there, Fresh Farm Eggs. India bought some. I don't like them. My mama burnt me out on them old rich eggs. But people love them. We've got a guy that sells sometimes 50 and 60 dozens a weekend up there. So, and I think it's a good time because of the economy. Anytime the economy's bad, Dollar Generals do good. Walmart's used to, but they're just as high as anybody. But Dollar Generals do good. Flea markets do good. Uh, and I think it's like you said. I think it's a really good time because people's wanting to go in. Like a lot of them people that buy pallet stuff, you can go in and get it half price. And I know I told you guys I was going to do a live, but things happen, so I could show you guys, maybe buy some of them good nice. But Diva, I don't know if she's still on here, but I think she was actually in the hospital having a little problem about the same time I was when I did a live last time, I think. Oh, and people love coming in socializing. In Walmart, you see people and they're just hiding, yep, yep, like that. And you go to a flea market, these people grab you by the arm. They want to talk about the weather. They want to talk about uh, what's going on over at the horse race track. They want to talk about every different thing in the world. And you get to talk to people and you're not on the phone talking to them. You're socializing. And that's what I loved about it the first weekend we had it. I love being able to go around and talk to people. And this is what I tried to do, guys. I'll tell y'all this, and I'm gonna have to get off of here. Well, shoot, we've been on here an hour, ain't we? That's pretty good for somebody with ain't supposed to be able to talk too good. We haven't got one. It's Churchill Downs in Louisville, where they have the Kentucky Derby at. I've never been to it. I don't do any of that. I don't do any of that gambling stuff. I lost my train of thought. What I was going to say before I got off here. Well, I mean, it is, but I think we went 3 hours at the benefit auction the other night, and I was standing up in a chair so I could see everybody, and the microphone wasn't worth a crap. We got to get a better microphone when we go out there, and I was having to really holler loud. Oh, it's great to haggle and have fun. Hey, you guys are the one that's made me feel better tonight. Uh, I mean, I'm not even looking forward to getting off of here, and I've just about run out of thoughts and things to say. I'm sort of I took one of my anxiety pills a while ago, and it's sort of making me a little bit droggy. It doesn't help completely with the thoughts in your mind, but it does help a little bit as far as trying to relax you. But we'll let you guys know. We'll pop on here again, and uh, everything goes. I don't know how quick this is going to go. When they tell me tomorrow, oh, Kentucky plays tomorrow, and they're actually doing good. I got to watch them the other night, and they're actually doing good, doing a lot better. Gettysburg, uh, but I've lost my train of thought again. When I go to doing that, I never do that. Lose it, but I'm trying to read the comments. But I hope every one of you guys have been doing great, and I hope every one of you guys have been doing good. Uh, uh, I hope that your health is well. I hope you're financially doing great. I hope your kids are doing great in school. Uh, yeah, Susan, that's probably what it is. I'd say. So I need my Uncle Jed hat on, but this cap's a little bit more comfortable to put on. Uh, it's got my old Scotchville, my old Scotchville. I can't do Xanax. Uh, I tried them years ago for my panic attacks, and they make me ill. And that's the last thing I want to be, especially in the shape we're in now, is being ill to anybody. It's actually that's my antibiotics. It's actually a very small dose of Valium. It's 5 milligram of Valium, and they told me to break it into, and so I take 2.5 in the morning and 2.5 in the evening. So it's not a lot, and I'm on no pain medicine. I told him I didn't need it. I didn't want no pain medicine because I'm not hurting. What's the point of taking pain medicine if you're not hurting, right? So I told him I didn't need it. I don't understand these people that run around here and buy these pain pills, 20, $30 a piece, and just go crazy about them. Hey, Bill Horvath, buddies, good to see you. Thank you, Susan. Thank you. I needed it today too. But I love y'all. And we got to pray, right, guys? Don't we all got to pray? And here's what I'm going to ask you. Oh, I don't know how fast things are going to go tomorrow. I don't know if he'll say we need to go and get you an oncologist or radiation guy. Uh, but I'm actually going to be choosy, and I'm probably going to wind up going to Cozair in Louisville or the University of Louisville, the Brown Treatment Center, or I'm going to Vanderbilt. I'm going to go to one of those. I'm not going to stay here locally because I just don't feel good. My lung doctor sort of he didn't feel good about me even staying around here. Thank you, Bill Strum. I talked to your daughter the other day at the doctor's office. Had a good talk with her. She said y'all was praying for us, and I appreciate that. But guys, we got to go. I ain't going. to end this without going into prayer. 250. 250, would he go 3? I got 250, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5. Got 5 now, 10. Got 10 now, 12 and a half, 15, 20. $20 bill. Got it right there. So we're gonna y'all, and I want y'all to do me a favor. Uh, I know we've prayed a lot on here. I mean, we've prayed a whole lot. But tonight, Miss Susan there, praying for her daughter, praying for other people. I seen other people sick in that hospital. And I tried to talk to every one of them little nurses. I said, "Are you gonna go and be a nurse practitioner or the CNAs?" I said, "Are you gonna go and try to be a nurse? You can do what you want to do." I tried to give them all words of encouragement. So hey, Misty, there's my daughter, guys. They've been a big help to me too. So we're gonna go to God in prayer, like we always do, but maybe a little different this time. We got that church going on up there, and I'm gonna try to go to that. It ain't that I want to go up there and believe I'm gonna be healed. I want to go up there and just feel that spirit. I've never been to an awakening like that. So let's bow our heads and pray. Heavenly Father, I'm thankful for my friends. They've made me feel better tonight. And I'm not crying sad, God. You know that. It's been a blessing to be able to cut up with them and talk to them. And they talk to me like a person. They didn't talk to me with pity, and they didn't talk to me with poor old Jerry. They talked to me like they always did. They cut up with me and joked with me. And that's the way it ought to be. But I want to especially thank you for every one of them. I wish I could call every one of their names, even the ones that didn't comment. I wish I could call their names out. God, I pray that nothing like this ever comes upon their family. I pray that they live good, long, prosperous lives on this earth, and their children live long, prosperous lives. And Miss Susan's daughter, that's 41, I don't know exactly what she's facing, but her babies are always her babies. And I want to pray, God, if there's a healing to take place, and you got to choose between me and Miss Susan's daughter, she's a lot younger than me. You go and let that healing go to her, and I'll be all right. I'll be all right, God. I love you. You're molding me right now to a different person. I mean, I can't explain it, God, but you know what you're doing with me, and I'm just gonna let you have your way. Just go right ahead, and I apologize for getting mad at you the other day and telling you to give me your best shot. And I was thinking, well, I don't want to get hit by lightning sitting there on the toilet. But me and you had a good talk afterwards, and I think that was one of the best talks me and you've had in a long, long time. Watch over my kids. Misty's watching on here. Let her know Daddy's all right. Let poor Ruby. She's been quiet. She's been so quiet. She's afraid. Let her know it'll be all right. Let my other babies know it's gonna be all right. Let them know I'm not afraid. Why should I be afraid to go back to you? I love you, God, and we're ever so thankful. Let's get some good news tomorrow, God. Okay. It's in Jesus' name we pray. And everybody said amen and amen. I love you too, Misty. I love you guys. I'm going to let you guys just finish up with your comments. I'm just going to enjoy looking at them. And these ain't tears of sadness, guys. It's tears of joy. I love y'all. Bless y'all. I'll give y'all an update. I sure will. I'll give y'all an update. Whether it's good news or bad news, I'm still going to be all right. Okay. So I'm going to get off here. Robin, thank you, sweetheart. Uh, yeah, I think I'm gonna try to watch a movie or something here, and just something goofy and silly and Gettysburg, get my mind off of of things. So that's good advice right there for sure. And I'm sorry I don't look as pretty as I usually am. But God bless you guys. I love y'all, and I'll let y'all. I'll keep y'all updated. It won't be so long between my next video.